pause some of these songs.
If I were the sea, I would love to see you smile at me. Walk the shore a mile with me. If I were the trees, I would love to shade you with my leaves. I'd clean the air for you to breathe. If I were you, I would love, I would love, I would love. Clay's even wearing the shirt that says this song. If I were a song, I would love to be a symphony, all together in harmony. If I were the earth, I would love to give you all that you need, but you keep taking more from me. If I were you, oh, I would love, 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 I would love. And should it be so bad to want to do something good when this world tries to bring us down? I would love, 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 I would love. If I were a book, I would love to educate the youth. Open minds just by telling the truth. If I were a pen, I would love to write to your friend. I'd be so proud of the love we send you. If I were you, I would love, 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 I would love. But should it be so bad to want to do something good when this life tries to get us down? I would love, 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 I would love. If I were money, I would love to end poverty. Instead they keep on wasting me. If I were a gun, I would love to never kill anyone. Well, melt me down and make me something fun. If I were you, oh, I would love, I would love, I would love. Sing it with me. I would love, 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 I would love. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's so nice to have you guys here today. Welcome if it's your first time, or your last time, or well, not your last time.
Wow.
If you're in an in-between time. It's that Mars Uranus, man. Do you guys feel it? Like that edgy kind of something's gonna break feeling? You got that? Yeah. I was telling somebody I feel like a slippery razor. So I think I should muzzle myself because who knows what's going to come out of this mouth this morning. And we are and we're in the dark of the moon, man. Scorpio moon. Dive deep, dive deep. Those life forces are right there at the root. And if that wasn't enough, it's Diwali. And you guys look at me astonished. So here's the thing about Diwali, I'm guessing. So let me speak like Dr. Reverend Expert, Wikipedia. So Diwali, Diwali is a Hindu feast, and it's the festival of light, and it comes around this time of year, and it's celebrating life in light. And the three prominent deities are Lakshmi, who is the giver of all gifts, and Ganesh, who is the remover of all obstacles, and Vishnu in his many incarnation, but is that which sustains and creates and builds. So we've got this life force of that which sustains and creates and builds, that which removes all obstacles, and that which is just pouring forth the goodness. And I just kind of see them in this room today, just offering their gifts. So they are open to that experience, or that energy is open to that experience of just receiving. Life is a gift that's not even earned, it's just given. And there is a force, a power that can show a way where there doesn't even appear to be a way. And there is that force that knows you, sees you, loves you, and sustains your life. And that's just kind of swirling around today, or it's swirling around with me, but it's swirling around, and it's just available to each and every one of us. And the other thing that I want to say about that is this. Those of you who garden know that a healthy garden is a diverse garden. The more diversity, the healthier it is. And how fortunate for us to live at a time and in a place where there can be a diversity of spiritual paths. You know, that all paths open themselves to the experience of the divine, and how boring it would be and how untenable it would be if there was just one spiritual path, one way, one religion. What history teaches us, if anything, is whenever there's a state religion, it always ends in catastrophe. So the diversity, the better. And so wherever you are, whoever you are, however your spiritual path has brought you here today, I just want you guys to know that you are so welcome. And it's just more fun with you here. So that's what I got to say. So, Reverend Jim, how are you this morning? Or the fact that I'm here. Yeah, good. How about you, Lee?
I was just thinking, I feel like I'm the child in between the two parents that are speaking the same language, they just don't know it.
Well, Jim, we have done well despite ourselves.
I'm doing well, by the way.
Good. Craig, how about you?
I'm good. I feel like we already had a little talk already with what you just shared before we start.
I know, I really should go to decaf on Sundays.
The other thing I wanted to say is last night we celebrated my wife's birthday, and we went to a karaoke lounge in San Diego, and it gave me a whole new appreciation. It's easy to sing along with Lee, but if you have to do it solo, I was like, oh my gosh, I need some serious training. So Lee, thank you for your gift too.
Thanks for the acknowledgement.
Yeah. Just sing it loud so we can sing. Just sing it.
We're all self-critics. I'm sure you were beautiful.
Yeah. Good. So there's a couple announcements that I just want to bring your way. The first is after service today, about 10 or 15 minutes after service, is our monthly board meeting, and you guys are all welcomed and encouraged to come so you can just kind of see the health of our community, where we are and what's going on. So we'd love to have you here for that. In January, I'm going to be doing a class which I'm really excited about, which is called New Thought for the 21st Century. Because when I came to New Thought back whenever I came to New Thought back when giants walked the earth, it was a different perspective than where it is today. There's a lot of things that have shifted, at least for myself, and so I'm really excited about this class. It'll be on Tuesday nights on Zoom and Wednesday nights here at the center. Instead of trying to combine the two of them, we're just going to do it that way. So that's happening. And then the third thing that I want to say is we are still finding our way after having all been in the wilderness of the pandemic. And one of the things that we love to do is something that was called Thanks for Giving, which is just a way to celebrate and honor each of you where you can just receive, because receiving is an important spiritual practice. It's as important as giving, because if you're not giving and receiving, it's out of balance. So we're inviting you to the spiritual practice of receiving, humble as it will be, but receiving from us next Sunday. We'll set up a little something, a little sweets and little sandwiches, a little something to have. And so please come, and if you haven't seen anybody in a while, give them a drop a dime and invite them. And we just want to celebrate you guys. And so that will be here. And Lee's band is going to be here next Sunday too. Yeah, so it'll be, yeah, well worth the peek. Paul has a meditation every Wednesday at 1:30? 12:30. 12:30 is meditation, so there's that. Craig will be doing a prayer circle after service today, and so that will be in the Emerson room. And then, please, if your heart gets touched sometime today, just know there's prayer. And there's different ways that you can receive prayer. One is just tap a practitioner on the shoulder. I saw somebody do that last week and say, will you pray with me? And they'll say yes, and you'll go pray. You can fill out a prayer request in the narthex, and the practitioners will pray that during the week. You can go to the prayer circle, or you can make an appointment for spiritual counseling with any of the practitioners. So there's all kinds of good things there. Sunday morning what? Sunday mornings with I'm sorry. Sunday mornings with Jim. Jim does his class on Sunday mornings, his class on Taoism and life in the world and the universe and all that.
That should be the new name of your class, is Sunday Morning What?
Sunday morning what? Yeah. Or Watts, like Alan. Okay. I feel that energy, man. I just got it. Somebody give me a light bulb. Okay, Craig. Center us in prayer.
Thank you, Reverend Guy. Okay, well, I'm delighted to be with you this morning. And let's just bless each other and this space and everyone virtually with a prayer. So perhaps it's a good time just to take a breath and bring in that fullness of life into this body. This is your temple, the temple of your soul, so fill it with life. And of course, just let go as you exhale. And just arrive at this beautiful moment of gathering. Just with me, give thanks that the sun came up again today. That giver of life to this solar system, to this planet. Just traveling through the galaxy. We are blessed with another day. And so I know wherever we are, there is a presence like a billion suns. We call it God. It is certainly beyond our comprehension and beyond description, and yet we feel it, we know it. It is all that there is. It resides within this temple of the body, within this space we create collectively, within all things. And so we invite that in. We receive, as Reverend Guy said, we take the gift of receiving this life into us, knowing that we're never separate from it, despite what at times we may think or believe or even act otherwise. We are a part of this thing called God. And so we just allow that to unfold. We recognize it in the words and inspiration of Reverend Guy as he lights up light bulbs in our minds, as he touches our hearts. We feel it in the music. We feel it just in this thing called community, as we gather together. And for this, we are just grateful. We allow it to be so with gratitude and an open heart. And so it is. And so it is. It's the month of November, and I know through probably many percolations and expressions, Reverend Guy will be talking about gratitude. And when I was thinking of a reading, I thought of so many beautiful poems, but this one caught me. It's by a Chinese man named Wu Wen, and it goes like this. 10,000 flowers in the spring, cool breeze in autumn, a full moon. Oh, that was wrong. Sorry. I think I'll just start over. Anyway, my seasons were mixed up. So it's 10,000 flowers in the spring, cool breeze in summer, a full moon in autumn, snow in winter. If your mind isn't cluttered with unnecessary things, this is the best season of your life. So let's take in this feeling we know so well of gratitude into a few minutes of meditation together. Just allow yourself to gently come back to this space with open eyes, open hearts, open minds, and gratitude.
So I had an idea, and this idea I had for celebrating our diversity at this time in the world. So I'm going to do two songs, one before the talk and after the talk. The first one they're both beautiful humanitarian songs. And one's by a Jewish artist, and the one after the talk would be by a Muslim artist.
How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? And how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? And how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. And how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? And how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? And how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. And how many times can a man look up before he sees the sky? And how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? And how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
Thank you. That's Bob Dylan. Please welcome the Reverend Dr. Guy Williams. Us being here together makes everything better, so thank you, everybody.
How's the temperature in here, you guys? Is it comfortable? Cold? Hot? Cold? All right, I'm not going to do anything. Yeah, that's right. Ask a group of people something and see what happens. All right. I did. Because I was feeling, I run warm generally, and I was feeling a little cool, so I thought, if I'm feeling chilly, everybody's got to be feeling chilly. But apparently, the theme for the day for Reverend Guy is, what the hell do I know? So, except this. I quoted Brian Swim last week. This line, and it's been my kind of contemplation all week. I think it's going to be kind of the contemplation for the month. He says this, he says, the beginning and the end of human experience is awe. The beginning and the end of human experience is awe, amazement, wonder, and then where that takes us. You know, I've said this before, but Rabbi Abraham Heschel says that there are two ways of knowing things. One is through reason. But the thing about reason is there's no novelty, because it's really just rearranging what is already known. But then there's amazement, surprise, wonder, and awe. And that affords the opportunity for insight. And what he says about that is this, is that we should find every day opportunities where we are amazed, where we are brought to awe, and wonder. And if we're not, we should pay attention to that. So last week, I was talking about the sun, and that the sun gives off energy at the degree of 4 million tons of energy per second to be converted into light. 4 million tons every second. Now. That's 12 million tons of energy that has just moved from the sun to become light. And that light finds itself activating our nervous system, nurturing the planet, the food that we eat, the air that we breathe, all life as we understand it, and everything that is going on is coming from that. And what I offered is this, is that if we try to just use reason or science as a way of explaining this kind of thing, we get lost. Because I don't know about you, but I know for myself, when you start talking about 4 million tons a second from the sun, and what does that even mean? But if we think of it from an archetypal point of view or from a mythic language, what we begin to understand is the very nature of the universe itself. Sacrifice. And I don't mean sacrifice like having to do without or suffering or something like that. But what I mean is to make sacred, sacré, which is the self-givingness of the universe. So every second, the sun is giving of itself this amazing thing called light and energy that is just activating everything, and that it is moving through us. And every breath that we take and every activity that we do, and how everything becomes interconnected to that. So this morning, I kind of want to play a little bit further on this. So this morning, I was up early, earlier than I was up at 3:30 in the morning, and I was saying last week, this thing, the day begins with asana. So, by the way, in Temecula at 3:30 in the morning, it's really cold, and I was encouraged because I really wasn't going to get up then, but I kind of moved, and then Nikolai saw me, and then Nikolai was like, "Hey, now that you're up, let's go outside," and I got to do something there. So I went out, and I've been watching Venus, but I was up even before Venus rose. You've been watching Venus? Oh, she's beautiful as the morning star. Beautiful in the eastern sky. But I was up even earlier than that, so I didn't see her, but I looked up into the starry world, and I started thinking about something else with this, which is if you were to turn your attention to the constellation of Sagittarius, which is basically the center of our galaxy, a galaxy of 300 billion stars. And again, there's no language that can appreciate 300 billion stars. And that's just a galaxy in a universe of countless galaxies. That much. But if you were to look out at that area of the center of the galaxy and those stars that are there, that are emanating light traveling at a light, and we tried to measure this in light years, and a light year is basically the period of time that it would take light, which travels at 180,000 miles a second, how far light would travel in a year. Are you boggled yet?
Oh, yeah.
Are you boggled yet? So let me do the math for you. So that means that light travels 6 trillion miles a year. 6 trillion miles a year, which means the light we are looking at there in the constellation of Sagittarius, that light that we see with our eyes has taken 25,000 years to get to us. So when that light, when those seconds of energy becoming light, moving and moving out through the great vastness of space, 25,000 years ago, our earliest ancestors were painting in Lascaux. It was the time of the Neolithic age. And where would that light that is emanating today, it's going to take it 25,000 years to get to us. So my thought in something like that is this. There are no words. There isn't a thought that says, well, that makes sense to me. Because if it makes sense to me, if I think it makes sense, then my imagination has collapsed. Brian Swims says this. He says, unless we live our lives with at least some cosmological awareness, we risk collapsing into minuscule worlds. So if there's a lack of awe, a lack of amazement, then what happens is our world becomes very, very, very small. I've quoted before Paul Tillich saying that the opposite of faith is not doubt. The opposite of faith is certainty. And if we live our life with that sense of certainty or absoluteness, our world, our view, everything becomes very, very tiny. Brian Swim goes on to say this. He says, in truth, we live in the midst of immensities, and we are intrinsically woven into a great cosmic drama. So just sit with that our life is part of this remarkable and amazing drama of this experience that is pouring forth at every moment. And just sit with how and what that does for each and every one of us. Because, when we allow ourselves, then what happens is that our astral body begins to open up. Our imagination begins to expand in certain ways. Our perception gets a jolt. Because in many ways, our perception is kind of how we see things and how they're limited. So the great spiritual teacher Obi-Wan Kenobi, when he's training Luke Skywalker, says this in Star Wars. He says, Luke, I am your father. That's me. Luke. Luke, you're going to find that many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. The truth is often what we make of it. You heard what you wanted to hear, believed what you wanted to believe. The truth is something that we make it to be. We hear what we want to hear, we see what we want to see. And all of that is constructed by our capacity to imagine, which affects our ability to perceive things. Dr. Holmes says that our whole experience of the divine is predicated on our whole perception of what that would be. And again, if we think that we can limit it into a linear way of approaching things, it becomes very, 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 very small. And so sometimes it's more I just did a mind thing too. The Tyrenes of Titan, Kurt Vonnegut. You guys are ever sci-fi people? Where he talks about questions being more important than answers. And that the questions sometimes are difficult and we have to sit with them and they're inconvenient. Like the song is inconvenient. There's not an answer that says do this, do that. Wow. Because each of us are on our own interesting and wonderful spiritual path. And where we go with that and what we do and how we perceive. And I was thinking also this morning of one of my favorite movies. It's time to see it soon. It's not Love Actually. It's Contact Remember Contact? It's based on the book by Carl Sagan. Don't you love that movie? So there's this scene in the movie where the character Ellie has traveled into this very interesting place, and she finds herself in the company of these ascended beings, these aliens, if you would, and they appear to her as her father. Because what they say is there's no other way that you could see us or appreciate us unless we were to appear to you in a way that you could see or perceive who we are. So they say to her this. They say to her, you are an interesting species, an interesting mix. You are capable of such beautiful dreams and such horrible nightmares. You feel so lost, so cut off, so alone. But you're not. See, in all our searching, the only thing that we have found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other. Is each other. And how we begin to perceive each other. Craig and I were talking before service this morning, and we both share a great love of a 12th century mystic and poet by the name of Meister Eckhart. And Meister Eckhart says, if you feel that you have lost God, go back to where you knew he was. Kind of like your car keys, right? When you miss your car keys, you backtrack where it was. And so what I want to say first of all is, the more and more and more that I'm thinking about God, the less and less and less I conceive it as a supreme being. Because a being gets us lost. Because we're trying to conceptualize it as something like that. Rather, for myself, God symbolizes this dynamism of love that permeates all and everything, and that the essence of it is this idea of love, not the emotional and passionate love, but more from a Platonic sense of that good that is desiring more, as Teilhard says, that is luring to a greater experience, as St. Francis would say, the all goodness of God. But it is that realm of being that we go from there. And so, what do we do with that? What do we do with that? So we'll have a commercial break. I have a little something for you. So Steve, if you will cue that up, just take a moment or two, actually a minute and 55 seconds, to appreciate.
Your mother just hitting you. Like you never paid for that. You didn't earn the sun.
I think, can you
or
slide
water.
back?
It's a tremendous...
Hold on 1 second.
Life is a gift, that you didn't earn it. You didn't earn your mother just hitting you. Like you never paid for that. You didn't earn the sun or water. It's a tremendous gift. And acknowledging that and really taking that in is transformative when you have grown up in a culture that ignores that fact. Because when you know that you have been so richly gifted, the natural response is gratitude and the desire to give in turn. Generosity comes from gratitude. And that is really half the purpose of life. To give of the gift of life that we received toward life. That's what life does. It creates more life. And that's half our purpose here. The other half, obviously, is to receive. Because the gift of life is not a one-time gift. It's an ongoing gift. And I mean life not just in the sense of the organism staying alive, but I mean the fullness of life, which includes the richness of experience, all of the joys and pleasures and awestruck apprehension of the miracles, the magnificence of nature, the sights and the sounds, and the pain also, but also what's on the other side of the pain, and the love, the connection, all that we receive. We are here to receive, and the more fully that we receive, the more grateful we are, and the more we have to give.
So there it is. So the first spiritual practice is the practice of receiving. So we think about the vastness of the starry world, the incredible experience of this thing called life. You know, in Einstein's theory of relativity, what he says is that energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? Yeah. So it's always moving. And so what I offer is this essence of love, this goodness that is luring, is eternal. It's never been created, and it can never be destroyed. It's always been. And so this idea of creation ex nihilo, that there was some moment when creation happened, just doesn't hold water if we consider that perhaps eternally there's been creation of good. Because the thing about love is it is by its own nature relational. To love seeks the other. And that's the essence of it all. And so the first contemplation then, and I have 3 G's for the spiritual path, but the first contemplation is this. We are sitting here in this moment as a gift. You didn't earn it. You didn't do anything about it. We can talk about, karma and past lives and all that other kind of stuff. But the bottom line is all that can be incorporated into the fact that this moment here is a remarkable gift. And that we receive this experience of the good. And that the practice is to simply be present to that. Thomas Merton says that plants are saints. They are saints because all they do is receive the love, the goodness that is poured forth in them, to them, and through them. They are the most sacred of all of all living things on the planet, because their very essence is to receive. And how do we respond in the sense, this contemplation that life is a gift? With gratitude. And so the next G is to be grateful. Is to be grateful and to simply say, thank you. In this place of amazement and wonder and awe of all of it. And how do we practice gratitude? How do we practice gratitude? The natural impulse of gratitude is generosity, the 3rd G. So we stand in a place of living as a gift. We live in a place of gratefulness, and we let gratefulness expand into generosity. And if we stagnate one of those things, there's a crippling effect, a withering effect upon the soul. We're not fully participating in the experience. And my invitation to you is, on your path, are there places of amazement and wonder? On your path, are you experiencing gratitude? On your path, Are you practicing generosity? And if you're not, what is the story you're telling yourself about why you're not, or can't, or won't, or fill in the blank for whatever there is? In the yogic tradition, there's a term called Matrika Shakti, which simply means the magical attraction of the power of language. Or again, as Abraham Esch would say, words create worlds. What we think, we speak. What we speak, we create. What we create, we experience. Always in this moment. And again, if we think in terms of this amazing gift that you and I are sitting here, conscious and material. As Teilhard said, we are material consciousness, or consciousness material. But what it evidences to us is that the universe itself is becoming self-aware, that there's an awareness in it. And how do we know that? Because we're part of the universe and we're thinking about it. So we are how that is. And the mystical, occultic traditions of the ancient forms of Christianity, they talk about the mystical body, or as Teilhard talks about, this omega point, where all creation becomes aware. And how that is happening is through us. As St. Teresa of Avila says, we are the eyes, the ears, and the hands of this powerful dynamism of love spread upon the earth. And how are we doing that? And how are we saying that? So 2 things I want to say. First, the truest thing about you, the truest thing about you, is that you are known and seen by this powerful dynamism of love that is always luring, inviting. And if you have lost your way, where did you leave your keys? Where was the last time you experienced love? Where was the last time you experienced amazement and wonder and awe? Go there. Go there. It's kind of like when you realize you've strayed from the path and you're in the weeds, the best thing to do is go back to where you were. And it'll lead the way. It will lead the way. And the next thing is prayer. So, God is not a personality, but it is personal. It knows itself through and as us. Annie Lamont says there are 3 main prayers: help, thanks, and wow. Any one of those will do. As a grounding force, as a centering force. As Ernest Holmes says, prayer takes place in the mind of the one praying. And it doesn't change God. Although in my old age I question that thought, that truth. But it does change us. And so I close with a prayer that I offered last week. That's not even my prayer, but it's a prayer that I can use because it was a gift to me, and I gift it to you. And Kurt, one of our practitioners, made copies of it. And if you like the prayer, and I invite you to pray this prayer every day for at least 40 days, it's sitting in the back in the narthex. You can pray it. But I will end with this prayer. This contemplation, may it bring you to amazement and wonder and awe. Divine Beloved, allow me to give with complete ease and abundance, knowing that you are the unlimited source of all. Let me be an easy, open conduit for your prosperity. Let me trust that all my own needs are always met in amazing ways, and that it is safe to give freely as my heart guides. And equally, let me feel wide open to receiving. May I know my own value, beauty, and worthiness without question. Let me allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me. May I feel worthy to receive in every possible way. Change me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself, so I may carry your light without restriction. Let everything that needs to go, go. Let everything that needs to come, come. I am utterly your own. You are me. I am you. We are one. All is well. And so it is.
Thank you always, Rev. So time for this song that was written by maybe the most famous in this part of the world, most famous Muslim songwriter. And it's a song about imagining something that hasn't happened yet. And I think it's important for us to imagine things that are possible. I always think about, how do you make it up a flight of stairs if you've never thought you could make it up a flight? If you've never thought about walking up a flight of stairs, you've never had that picture in your head, you've never done it before, how do you have the courage to walk up a flight of stairs if you've never thought of it before? Same thing happens for something like a peace train. This is Yusef, otherwise known as Cat Stevens. I've been thinking lately. Why is that turning off? That's not helping. Go back to the internet. Here we go. Now, I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one, and I believe it could be something's good has come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train to take this country, come take me home again. Now I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train sounding louder, glide on the peace train. Ooh, come now, peace train. Oh, peace train, holy roller, jump on the peace train. Ooh, come now, peace train. Get your bags together, go bring your good friends too, because it's getting nearer and soon it'll be with you. Now come and enjoy the living, it's not too far from you, and it's getting nearer, soon it'll all be true. Now come now. Oh, peace train sounding louder, get on the peace train. Now, peace train. Now I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train to take this world, come and take me home again. Oh, peace train, oh, holy roller, coming Thank you. Youssef.
I like the song Before and After. Have you seen that song Yusuf wrote recently about the Middle East?
No.
It's about the children. You can find it on YouTube. It's very moving. It'll make you cry, but it's worth watching. And speaking of awe, I feel that way. Thank you, Reverend Guy. Thank you, Lee and Jim. And so it's our time of conscious giving, of tithing. And I listened to what Kurt said last week, and I appreciated the journey he's gone through, coming to a place of kind of embodying this sense of generosity. And I was thinking about my own path. If it's okay, Reverend Guy, can I talk about that a couple minutes?
Absolutely.
So I think it was about 18 years ago, I did a series of personal growth programs, and I did some of them with my older daughter. And one of the programs was a week-long intensive experience in Northern California at this ranch where you're with a group of 100 people and you're kind of diving deep into your stuff. And we did this one exercise where we all sat in a circle facing outward, and one person would rise and they would go around the circle and they'd look at you and they would say, giver or taker. And they would be, you have to appreciate, after a week of being together, this was towards the end, people were being completely, if brutally is not maybe quite the right word, but honest with you from their soul. And I remember sitting there all along thinking that I was the giver. The feedback I got from a community of 100 people was overwhelming that I was a taker. And so I just had to sit with that and allow that to disturb me. And I think it's a process I go through every day still. Am I a giver or I'm a taker? I think it's an interesting thing. You know how you talked about we have to be able to receive, really to give. I think that's really true. And we can receive without receiving. We can just take things for granted and in that way be greedy. Or we can be in awe and wonder and receive, and then we do have that impulse to give. So I just want to share, I see it very connected to the tithing. It's not a pressure. It's just something to really consider in your lives. Are you overwhelmingly a giver or are you a taker? We go back and forth, but let's wake up in the morning and feel like I'm a giver. You know, obviously there's room to grow and expand in this experience of giving and in fully receiving and being inspired. I just think it's a really critical thing to have the fullness of life. So, as you give today, just take your gift to your heart and know that it comes from that place of awe and wonder, of truly receiving, of being inspired, and of generosity. And therefore, it just comes easily, naturally, unstoppably, undeniably. And it is received here with gratitude, allowing us with excitement to be offering classes soon and to gather together here in service and to be available for prayer and all the things that this community means. We are grateful. So it is.
Fabulous, thank you. So, where'd Terry go? Oh, she went home. Okay. I saw her earlier. So again, what I just want to offer is if your heart has been touched in any way today, please do not leave without the benefit of prayer. And you can see any one of our practitioners. You can see Paul, who does the bell, so beautifully, and our poet there, and Andrea, who just is, I don't know, I just love her dearly, and she's just so talented in so many things, just all the things that she does in the center and making it beautiful and all that. And then Liz is here today as well, and Liz is just I always say Liz is about as delicate as the Mercedes. You know, there's a strength and a beauty and an elegance about who she is, and if you've not prayed with her before, it is powerful. So I invite the practitioners up with me on the platform so you can see and be with them. Craig, thank you so much today. It was so great having you here on the platform. It was great. And Lee and Jim, always. And Lee, those songs today were just perfect. Steve, as always, you make it sound so good. And Karen and Larry and whoever was greeting Chris was greeting as well, so that was good. Yes, wow. Yes, the shop has got some cool things. And yeah. By all means, go shop from around the world. When you see Kurt, give him a big thank you, him and Deanna, and Ann. They've been in the kitchen today just making good stuff for us all the time, so we want to thank them. Let's see, who have I forgotten? I have not forgotten Mark, who makes the outside of this place look beautiful. Who have I forgotten? Nobody I've forgotten. And thank you all for coming. It's just good. And please hang out for the board meeting. It's going to happen after service. And it's just better when you're there. So with that, I will stand. You can stand or sit. You might just want to sit or stand, whatever you want to do. So, as Emerson says, prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. So what is that highest point of view? That we live and breathe and have our being in this gift of life, unearned, freely given. That we respond with this experience of gratefulness for this community, for this place, for this day. And that we direct ourselves, we allow that which has created all things to lure us into a place of generosity. That we give in every way, in all ways. And I bless this day in that consciousness, letting it be, and so it is. Bring us home, buddy.
Oh, pirates, yes, they robbed by, sold out to the merchant ships. Minutes after they took us from the bottomless pit, but mine was made stronger by the hand of the Almighty. We forward this generation triumphantly. Won't you help the sick? These songs of freedom, they're all I ever had.
Let's go, kids.
Redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves could free our minds. Have no fear of atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop at the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? They're all I ever had. Redemption songs, redemption songs. These songs of freedom. These songs of freedom.